It is week 4 out of 14. It's been a month. The existential crisis just keeps on coming. It's not going away. In the last episode, I talk about how I'm a big planner. Usually, when I plan something, I have this big idea, or when I decide to do something, when I decide to plan something, I have this big idea or big need for some reason to make it something big. I guess is the high achiever in me. For example, I wanted to study in the US, which is on the other side of the world from Malaysia. When I decided to work in the UK, it was all sort of like small decisions of why not? Let's just do it. And I have these great interesting experiences and I got them because of, again, why not? It's those type of experiences that, let's say if you have a niece or a nephew or a kid and they'll ask like what is the most interesting thing that you've ever done, these are the type of experiences I would tell them. So looking back, the most interesting experiences that I have in my life is because I just, why not? I was ending my master's, and usually when you end your master's, you have this thesis you have to do, and you can either do like a full-on research with 10,000 words, which definitely I would not do, or you do an applied project where you build your own project and write about it in sort of like a thesis or dissertation or paper, whatever you want to call it. There's also this one other thing, which is work or internship. I wanted to work abroad and I want to have some experiences abroad. Even if I didn't get the opportunity to work abroad, I can come back to Malaysia and say, oh, I've interned at this specific company in the UK. So I applied for a lot of different internships and also jobs. I think I applied to Amazon and I actually got until the last stage. Like the last stage was like 7 interviews back to back, I remember, with 7 different people. It was so daunting. I didn't get the job. Do you know how frustrating it is when you have to go like assessment and then this and then that and then interview and then another interview with 7 different people at the end, but you didn't get a job? It's like you've done the whole shebang, but just didn't get it. I've done that for Accenture as well, and again, I didn't get it. I also applied for internship with this boutique consulting firm. When I was reading their website, I have no idea what they were doing. Like, I could not understand what exactly they were doing or what their services were, but I was like, why not just apply? If I get an internship, great. I'll learn all about it later on. But I did not understand what they were doing in the beginning. So again, why not? I applied, and turns out during my application, that firm got acquired by a big global consulting firm. Just a bit of a context, I actually don't want to go into consulting because I have no idea what they're doing. I know I applied to Accenture, but Accenture was like tech, like general consulting, like Big Four or whatever. I never intended to apply because I could not understand what they were doing. Like, it's all very, in a way, gate kept. So I didn't want to apply to any consulting jobs, and the assessment were tough. So when I got the news of the boutique consulting firm being acquired by this global consulting firm, I was like, oh, so what's going to happen in my internship now? And they decided to just still take me in, which is great. I got the big prestigious name on my resume, which is awesome. That's how I spent 3 years in consulting, trying to climb the corporate ladder. And again, it was also because of why not? Because I was curious, like, what is this consulting thing that everyone kept talking about? Or like, does this small boutique consulting firm actually do them? And in the end, I got a big name on my resume, which is great. But again, it was not because I chased something prestigious or chased the big name or even chased consulting. Like, I didn't chase consulting even in the beginning. I just wanted to apply to understand, but ended up having this big name on my resume, which is great, I guess. What's not so great is that I didn't get promoted, but that's fine. Now, while I was working, my good friend from degree was doing his master's in the UK. His master's was in film. And then one day he was asking me about my garden. For context, I stayed at a flat in London and I had a private garden at the back. That private garden is only accessible to those around the area. And then he was asking me if he could use my garden. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And so I offered my private garden. And then apparently they were supposed to shoot at a specific Airbnb as well. Turns out the Airbnb check-in is so late. So they wanted to shoot earlier. I live alone. And so he was like, hey, can I now use your house? And I was like, okay, I guess. Why not? And it turns out he was shooting a music video for a very popular band in Malaysia. And I actually also love the band. He didn't tell me early on. I was like, oh, he's actually shooting for Masdo. I was like, oh, you didn't tell me that. I would have said yes 1,000 times. And so now my house and my private garden is immortalized, hopefully, in a music video. And now that I'm back in Malaysia, if I sort of want to remember how my flat looked like or kind of remind myself what it was like, I would watch the music video, and my friend does the same thing. I was also an extra in the music video too, so it was a really interesting experience for me. And again, it's all because of why not? It's mostly because it's my friend. Like he's a really good friend of mine, so I couldn't say no in a way. So this music video was shot like around my birthday, which is around February. In May, I tendered my resignation, so it was like a few months after. And I've already mentioned to my good friend, I was quitting and I'll be unemployed. And so he was asking me, "Oh, since you're unemployed, do you want to help me with my grad film?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?" For me, again, it was curiosity, right? Because I was never in the creative industry. I never knew how films are made. He was going to start filming his final year grad film. It was going to be shot in around October. I didn't really, have any plans, and I did not think I would have a job by then. So I just said yes, why not? Because I was really curious as well how films are made. And so I volunteered. It was literally a volunteer role. Like I didn't really get paid, but I was really curious to see how films are made and how my friend's work is. Right? It's not like every day that you get to be on a film shoot and see how films are made. So I was like, yeah, why not? And I really saw the creative industry up close and how actually you need a lot of money to do a film, even if it's a small short film. I also learned a lot more about the creative industry during that time, like how people set up costumes, You have to think about scheduling and how, like, sometimes with the weather, if you shoot outdoors, the weather is unpredictable. You can plan all you want again, but sometimes life just throws a curveball. It was really exciting, and I've always thought that for some reason we all have this stereotype where it's like creative industry is not that hard, or like it's not that laborious as compared to other corporate industry, right? I was in consulting, so working late nights is normal, but film industry is a totally completely different beast. Like I stayed up until like super late that I've never done in consulting as well. It was really a new experience. It made me feel more appreciative of films and cinema. I love watching movies, but seeing how they're made me appreciate them more. Like the effort that it goes through, the thought process. And it just made me appreciate more of the creative industry. And the last why not led me to the role that I have today. I said, why not join a startup? Because I've done corporate. I want to learn more about running a business. I don't think I can start my own startup right away because I have no idea how to. I'm just going to join one to learn more. And so why not? I did. It taught me how to adapt. And again, like sometimes plans just don't go the way that you want it to go, and that's okay. And now you're a co founder and a media and marketing agency. An industry that I never considered. But I'm also grateful because I think all my previous why nots, volunteering for my friend's grad film, volunteering for his music video, might have been a divine plan to lead me into this role. So curiosity gave me a lot of interesting experiences, and because I was just curious about how things are and wanted to learn, it just ended up being where I am today and having all these different interesting experiences that I have. Curiosity didn't just give me all these opportunities, but it also expanded who I thought I could be. I don't think I could have become a producer for a grad film, or associate producer, line producer, whatever you will call it. I never thought that I would be in a music video. I never thought that I would be a co-founder for a media agency. But maybe I could be. Why not? It's mostly has been why not try, why not help, why not see where things go? Because in the end, curiosity can lead you to exciting opportunities.